Those are the people who will go out of their way to be like, I think this person deserves this role. I think that this person will do a great job. And sometimes you just need these champions to be able to put you in the right rooms.
Today, we are at Stanford University, and Pear is going to talk to us about her experience as a founder, a community leader in the Bay Area, and her experience coming to the US to Stanford University as a student. So, I have so many questions for Pear. I'd love for you to introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Olivia, for that introduction. And hi, everyone. Before I introduce myself, I just wanted to say how honored I am to be on this podcast. And I am always so amazed at like incredible women like you. Hi, I'm Pear. I'm currently a junior at Stanford. I'm studying science, technology, and society. And I'm originally from Bangkok, Thailand. So I grew up there, lived there for 18 years of my life before moving here to the States. And currently, I now run Foundess, which is a community for women founders. And what we do is we do host a bunch of stuff like accelerator programs, hacker houses, as well as like dinners and event series to bring women together and encourage more young women to get into startups and provide the necessary resources for you to get started, whether it be fundraising, whether it be pitching, or even go to market. So we try to be able to support you at the start from 0 to 1.
I think that's the best place to start because that's how I originally discovered Pear. I was in their first accelerator, the Hatch Accelerator. And this was like my first time going into the startup world alone. Before that, I was on a team with like 4 men.
Mm.
And so it felt so warm and welcoming and like such a good embrace to join the Hatch community. I would love to understand, where did the genesis of Foundess come from?
So I think that the idea of Foundess came from a culmination of so many of my experiences as well as my co-founders' experiences. So when I was back in Thailand, I actually started a menstrual health organization where we basically turned sugarcane waste into menstrual pads for women. And so we distributed that all over Thailand as well as Southeast Asia. And from there, I was like, I love building organizations and working with people. Then that inspired me to start Mondasiri, which is a skincare brand with a similar sustainability core of working with Thai silk farmers to turn Thai silk waste into skincare products. And because Thai silk is just known for its softness and how like glowing and lustrous it is, the idea and core concept was like, how can we make your skin as soft and glowing like silk? And so those two organizations and companies that I ran, I think that I met a lot of young people who were like, wait, Pear, how do I like do what you do? Like, how do I start an organization too? How do I start a company as well? And I was like, oh my God, like there's so many people who have this desire to build something and make an impact on the world, but they just don't know how. I feel like our generation, we know the why. We're like so fired up and so passionate, but we don't necessarily know like how the steps and how to get there. And the startup ecosystem can sometimes feel like a black box of like, where do I get started if I'm not here in the valley? And so that inspired the start of Foundess because so many young girls, as you know, only 2% of VC funding goes to women. And as a woman founder myself, having worked in the menstrual health industry as well as the skincare industry, it's like a very women dominated industry. But then coming into tech, it's like, whoa. It's like two different worlds. And I wish more young women can get into this space and build impactful products. And so that's kind of the culmination of my own experiences. It's something I wish I had when I was starting out. And so I want to be able to send that to other girls.
It's so amazing when you see a problem and you decide, like, hey, I'm just going to solve that. I think that's one of the things that makes me the most motivated to stay in the entrepreneurial community. I love the fire that people have. How did you get started for people that want to build communities like Foundess? What were the first steps? Like, how, because I mean, it blew up. How many people did you have in the first hatch? How did you get the word of mouth out there?
We got 700 applications from 15 countries. And that was so insane because I think our goal was like 100 applications or something. And we ended up, we were able to accept like 500 into our first cohort. And then during our demo days, we were able to fly out 10 teams to San Francisco with a 3-day retreat. And then they actually pitched at Stanford to over 100 investors.
Oh my
And
God.
so, yeah, it was like a 6-week virtual program where we had people, the ex-CEO of Patagonia and like the Calendly like executive come and speak about go to market and all these processes. And then we were able to meet these individuals in person. So Audrey was actually part of our Hatch cohort. Full circle moment. But I feel like for us, yeah, Hatch really kickstarted our brand and really kickstarted our community because before that, we were running more like solo events at we worked with Harvard undergraduate women in entrepreneurship. We worked with Stanford. And so we did individual events where we brought women together. And that itself, I felt like the energy was just so different from all the events that I've been to because my friend actually like kind of told me the other day of like whenever I go to a Foundess event, I feel like warm inside. And I think that's like the type of feeling we want to recreate. But then we were like, how do we scale this to the next level? How do we provide resources and follow up with these girls after coming to the events? Because events is just like a one time thing, but how do we help them from like start to finish and see where they go? And so through Hatch, we're able to do that and provide like the building blocks. And we were able to so lucky like see like our winner from the for the Hatch program. She improved so much. Like her pitching, her storytelling. It was just such a honor to see like how when she first started, a lot of us are so scared of like how do I get started? How do I know if this product has PMF, has product market fit, and things like that? To pitching with such confidence, from kind of like stumbling over your pitch to pitching with such confidence that the judges were like, "That's her," you know what I mean? So it is such an honor to witness all these incredible journeys. So I feel like being able to support these women on these journeys, and it's a crazy long journey, and be able to see their growth, it's such an honor. And so, yeah, that's what inspired Hatch. It's like, how do we create long-term kind of impact on these women beyond just meeting them and like building community for them and building relationships, but how do we bring that into these like more tactical skill sets of how to start a company?
How did you connect with mentors and get them to agree to participate in the program?
So, shout out to Shirley. She literally like led our Hatch program. So without her, this would not have happened. And so how we connected to mentors, if I knew someone, for instance, like my professor, he was the ex-CEO of Patagonia, I would be like, hi professor, can you please, come and like be a mentor and like speak on the panel at Hatch and like, meet all these young women. And he was like, of course, I'm happy to. Or we just cold email people and be like, hey, we are running Foundess. If you resonate with our mission, please like let us know. We would love to have you as a mentor to do this, this, this. But for cold emails, I find that it's more impactful when we state exactly what you need. Like this is what we need help with. It's not going to take you a lot of time. We'll do all the heavy work for you, things like that. Because I find that a lot of women who have already, kind of like reached a spot where they've built something sustainable, they all really want to help. Like they really, really want to be able to give back. But sometimes their time is just so limited that they don't really have the structure, like the infrastructure for them to give help. They don't really have time to be like coordinating with you like over 3 emails of like when to meet up, but they really do want to help. And so for us, we're like more like, that infrastructure.
I think that so many founders need to learn the skill of cold outreach and feel comfortable asking for things, even if there's a little part of you that might feel like, oh, I don't want to be a burden or I don't want to waste their time. I know they're busy. How do you catch someone's attention when you're sending them a cold outreach and you have very few connections?
I think that in terms of outreach, before we go into like the technicals of it, I would say that I feel like us as women, I feel like we should ask more for things that we want. Like we should state what we want and ask for it because the worst you can get is a no, right? I think that you need to be in the mindset of this is the value that I bring. Like you're not just like asking them, can you please do this for me? But I think that you need to go in with this mindset that like I also bring value to them as well. Like if you were on the other side of the table, why would you respond to this person? Like what value do they bring? And so usually when I cold email someone, I also feel like there's like this gut feeling in me that like they should respond to me, right? Because I know that I bring a lot of value, whether it be through Foundess or through my experiences or through whatever it is. I feel like there is value that I bring, and I think you need to believe in that to be able to channel that in words to the person you're reaching out to. Now, how do you communicate that value efficiently is also a different like design idea, right? And I personally also receive a lot of cold emails, and the ones that I do respond to are usually the ones, first of all, that has like a very genuine, like heartfelt, emotional message. Like it feels like it's written from their heart. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like you can kind of tell in this era whether it's AI generated or not. Also, because I've I fall into this trap of feeling like because I work in a space where it's like a community building aspect and I want to help everyone, I genuinely do. But sometimes you can't pour from an empty cup. Like you need to fill your own cup before you start pouring for others. And I've reached a point sometimes where I feel like I'm trying to pour more, but like my cup is like not being filled because I'm not taking care of myself. And so there is a certain capacity that you can do, right? Like you need to take care of yourself before you take care of other people. And so that's why I can't reply to everyone, but the people that I do reply to, I feel like they've resonated with some part of my story. They've heard about me and like know something very like special about me that I feel like you can't just Google online. Like usually when I cold outreach people, I say like, "Hey, I watched this video about you and you said this, this, this," or like, "I read your book and I resonated with these three things." Those are things that like you need to put in effort and take time to get to know that person even before you meet them. I feel like people are interested in working with you when you are interested in them first. Like be genuinely interested in other people first, and so that'll get them interested in you.
I
Yeah.
love that, and I was reading a report on, like, what makes people popular in an organization, and the only thing that they found in common with these people is a
Mhm.
genuine interest in each individual that they were friends with. So it's not about, like, how smart you are, how pretty you are, like, how outgoing you are, it's literally just, do you like a lot of people? And Stevie Case, the CRO of, Vanta, was saying that she didn't respond to one person until it got to literally the 100th email, the 100th. So I think there's also a level of shamelessness, so it's okay to keep asking
Yeah.
until they tell you no, and then, like, chill.
Wait, honestly, I think it's okay to keep asking. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Until they say no, well, like, you
yeah.
roast your oyster.
Yeah, even after they say no, like, maybe 6 months later, try again.
Yeah, exactly. I think people are just genuinely like really busy.
Mhm.
And if you just show enough interest and genuine appreciation for what they do, eventually they will reply. I also wanted to add that like yes, you need to know your own value of what you bring to the table, but then when you ask it, you can't just ask it from a frame of mind that like, oh, like, I'm bringing value to you. It's more like, can you do this as a favor for me, right? Because
Mhm.
usually when you cold outreach someone, they don't owe you anything. You don't have a personal relationship with them. So why would they take time out of their day to even respond to your email, to even take action on your behalf? And so I think another common thread of like people I respond to is not only their genuine interest in the work that I've done or like a very specific ask, but also it's like, hey, like it would mean a lot to me that you would do this for me because of these reasons, right? Understanding that you don't owe me anything, but the fact that you're doing this for me, I am so grateful for it. So I think gratitude is a big thing too.
Another question I have for you, Pear, is your background is in engineering, right?
Yeah, I guess like I'm co-terming in management science and engineering.
How did you get into community building with that background?
You know how like in hindsight those dots connect? You don't realize the dots connect. You're just living life and then you look back, you're like, wait, these dots do connect and they lead to a certain path. And so that is kind of how it was like for me because with my nonprofit, it's called Her, and we, even though it's like very much led on product design, a human-centered design of creating new products for women, it was a lot about community building too, because it's
Mhm.
about creating safe spaces for women to be able to talk about such a taboo topic of menstruation. And as someone who also went through like a menstrual disorder myself, and that led me to like start this organization, um, I felt like I didn't really have that space to talk about periods with other girls because I was so ashamed of what I went through. And so that community building portion of being able to, you know, rally girls and like be like, hey, you guys can talk to me about whatever menstruation issues you have. Do you have cramps or whatever? Like, come talk to me, right? To go from that girl who like used to just like not want to talk to anyone about it and building community around it, not just in my school, but also all these other schools around like my country in Thailand, and being able to meet girls who are like, wait, like I want to start something like you do. And they call it like not just an organization, but like a movement. I think for me, that is what inspired me to be like, wait, actually, community building is something really close to my heart. Because I think in whatever you do, whether you are building a product or new technology, working in AI, at the end of the day, right? Like the thing that AI can't really take away from us is like the core human like emotion and like the values that we have as people. And I think that is what brings people together in a community. It's like this common thread, this common understanding that we have something shared. And that is kind of intangible.
So you were talking about how you got into menstrual product development. I want to hear more about that. And was there someone in your life that influenced you and made you see yourself as a builder or an entrepreneur? Like, how did you envision that path?
Yeah, so, both my parents are actually entrepreneurs, so I think that influenced me a lot growing up of, like, seeing them build a company from scratch. So when I was a kid, they would have to fly out a lot to, like, go to expos and meet customers and all these things, and so I was raised by my grandma, and so I feel like I have such 2 strong female figures in my life,
Oh,
my
yeah.
grandma and my mother, and so I feel like that really inspired me to help other young women, and the fact that my mom and dad are entrepreneurs made me kind of feel like growing up, adults would ask me like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" That's like a common question. And I was like, "I want to be a businesswoman," but I don't know what that means. I think entrepreneurship has always been like a seed that's been planted in me since I was a kid.
I also would love to understand what your advice is for people that maybe haven't developed a network yet, like young people just starting their startup and they want to raise, or maybe they're looking for an internship.
Mhm.
I think LinkedIn is such a powerful way to put yourself out there, but it can be incredibly intimidating if you haven't posted before, if you're still building up your following. What's your advice for these people just to get started?
There are people who start like from here and some people start from here. But personally for me, I came to the US from Thailand. So I didn't know anyone in Silicon Valley. I was building out my network basically from scratch here. Right. And I was able to do it in a way where I get to meet you, I get to build Foundess. So I feel like in a way I have built some sort of network for myself, luckily, fortunately. And so I just wanted to say that if I can do it coming from like a total different country, I think that you can definitely do it, right? Like, so that's it. I just wanted to set the tone and set the context for that first. And I think the second thing is we care so much about what other people think about us. And that is inherent to me too. I also care a lot, especially like because I'm doing work that basically serves other people and helping other women. It's all a lot about relationship. It's very relationship driven. So I do understand that like that kind of inkling feeling like, oh my God, like do they like me? Or am I doing something wrong? Or like am I saying the right things? Right. But I realize that you become much freer when you care less about what other people think about you. And I think that the first step towards that is realizing like, am I not doing something out of fear? So like, am I not posting on LinkedIn because I'm scared someone is gonna misinterpret what I'm writing? I think that I don't know if you know Mel Robbins,
Yeah.
but I like yeah, so I would like watch her reels and she has this book about like let them. I think personally you just like let them misunderstand you.
Yeah.
Perhaps like you are making like when I started making TikTok because I make TikTok videos about entrepreneurship for a lot of Thai people as well. And when I first started it, a lot of sometimes people would misunderstand it as like, "Oh, why are you boasting about things?" or like, "What are you talking about?" right? But you realize that if your intentions are true and you are authentic to yourself, like whatever other people says becomes noise, right? It becomes this noise and this is what my mom always tells me. It's that like, if you are at a point where you're still hearing those noises around you, it means that you haven't run further enough yet. Maybe you're running here and then that person is running behind you and that is why you hear their noise. But like your goal is not to turn around and start beating them up and starting yelling at them and being like, "Why are you like telling me I'm this or that?" right? But the best way to overcome that noise is to run even further away such that their noise doesn't bother you anymore.
I think part of it for me is also proving to yourself that you can do it. Every time I'll go moderate a conversation or like ask a question during a fireside chat, I prove to the version of me who was afraid that it's not scary, and even if your voice shakes, it's okay and you can get through it and people
Yes.
respect it. And yeah, I think anytime I feel that fear now, I've learned that that's how I know I should go towards it, and that's going to be a moment of growth. Because if I'm afraid of it, that means I don't have that skill yet. I don't feel confident yet. So what can I do to practice it, and then build up that confidence?
Yes,
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. I know that's what like what they say, right? Like evidence over affirmation.
Yes.
It's like
Yes. Yes.
repetition makes you more confident than just telling yourself, I can do it. Because when you tell yourself, I can do it, you don't actually believe it because you haven't seen yourself done it 100 times before. So that's like
Thank you.
super important. You have to prove it to yourself, believe it yourself truly before you can show other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to add on the kind of building relationships and building your network. I also think that if you are someone who hasn't found like a very deep relationship yet or like built a very kind of strong network around you, try asking yourself, have I been that good friend for others first yet? Because I think that a lot of the relationship building, yes, on LinkedIn, it's really great and like kind of casting a wide net and meeting a lot of people. But the people who will really move the needle for you and go out of their way to be your champions are the people who you build deep trust with, and I think that comes from being someone who gives first. It comes from being someone who is that good friend for other people first. Because if you are that good person and if you are that good friend who gives first, other people will be attracted to you. Like other people who are also great friends will be like, I want to be around this person. And that builds very deep and genuine trust. And I think that those relationships are so powerful because those are the people who will go out of their way to be like, I think this person deserves this role. I think that this person will do a great job. And sometimes you just need these champions to be able to put you in the right rooms, to open up the right opportunities for you.
Thank you so much. This has been an amazing conversation. Oh, you should definitely follow Pear. I will drop all of her handles down below. Yeah, until next time.
Yeah, until next time. Bye.